Something that you could technically do if you wanted to is dig as far down as possible and then just keep on picking the same spot over and over again. Because this will, on occasion, generate stone. You can see it ticking up every so often. Added stone. And you could do that for infinite stone, but it would also be incredibly tedious.
I can see that, yeah.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Probably wouldn't really be fun.
It would be very annoying, yes.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, the Joseph story is fucking hilarious because it's just Jacob being like, yo, I love this son. He's my favorite. And then all the other kids are just like, you know what? Let's fucking kill him.
Daddy, pay attention to me. No, you're gonna keep paying attention to him, but we're gonna kill him now.
Basically, yeah.
Didn't the animated version have them, like... They threw him in a hole, and then later they sold him into slavery, I think it was.
Yeah. I don't know how it went down perfectly because I'm getting this from the VeggieTales version, but I know that there was a murder attempt was made, and then they sold him into slavery.
I liked VeggieTales when I was a kid. I thought it was dumb, but I kind of liked it.
I mean, yeah, where else are you going to get, like, you know, Bible stories full of slushies? With the false idol's a fucking chocolate bunny, man. It's wild.
Cannot stand this. Ah! Alright, where are you? Continuing to build stuff. Oh, it's on my back. But it's not the right tool. I'm gonna clear out these trees real quick. Oh, it's just a branch. Oh, it's an oak branch. I can't do anything about that. Guess I'll just go back to digging my hole.
As you do.
Just gotta keep digging. What other Bible stories do you think about just while you while away the midnight oil?
Oh, you want to go? Well, you can go. Okay. So for some reason, I'm sure there's a historical reason for this, but there are a shit ton of Bible stories about King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm guessing that this is probably, like, for, like, you know, the Israelites were over there, and, like, he, like, started persecuting them or whatever. But for whatever reason, they really hate this guy, you know? So, like, there's the first story, which is, like, you know, he builds this big idol. I don't remember, I think it was of himself, and he wants everyone to worship it. And so, like, there are these three guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they don't want to worship it, so he throws them in the fire, and then they don't burn, and he's just like, oh shit, well, I guess God's real. Fuck. Needs to continual piss off God. Like, stuff keeps happening. And, like, this is obviously a case of, like, we hate this guy, he's persecuting us, and so we're just gonna dunk on him as much as possible, you know? Because, like, there's one of these stories where, like, he pisses off God, and God makes him go crazy, and he makes Nebuchadnezzar think he's a cow, and he starts eating grass.
This is like the fanfic equivalent of I'm writing a story and I'm putting all my schoolyard bullies in it as shitheads who get beat up by the hero.
Exactly.
Yo, that's crazy. I love that. That is crazy.
It's hilarious. Oh, Nebuchadnezzar's not going to be in this version. He's going to be in Volume 2, because that's way later. That's after they get kicked out of... What was the big roll around? Was it Jerusalem back then, or did they have a different name? Oh,
I don't remember. But, how is my bees doing? The bees are happy.
Yeah. Oh shit, Esther! My version of the Bible had Maccabees and Esther chopped out of it because it was a kid's Bible, and so they just chopped out whatever they didn't want to put in there. It was whack, man.
Whatever you don't want the kids knowing.
Which is funny because Esther and Maccabees are about Jewish stuff, you know. Esther's family they're Israelites, and Haman wants to kill them because they're Jewish, and that's what that's all about. And Maccabees is literally the Hanukkah story. And so, like, they chop the Christian people who are making the children's Bible, chop them out because it's like, we're Christian, man. We don't care about that stuff.
This is really not important to our worldview. Like, I can see how this would be important to their worldview, but they're not us.
It's funny. It's like, you know, our Lord and Savior's religion, nah, we don't really care about that.
Do we need to pay homage to the beliefs of the person that we are worshipping? No. We're not. Never mind how strange that sounds.
I know. According to Christian belief, like, I'm reading Dante's Inferno at the moment, and apparently no one got to go into heaven until Christ was crucified, according to, like weird Christian doctrine stuff, which is just wild.
Okay, but Dante's Inferno is unambiguously Christian fanfiction.
Oh, it is fanfiction, but he didn't make that up, because that's also in Paradise Lost. Like, this is apparently a bunch, I don't know if it's still, they currently believe this, but back in the day, they believed that, like, no one got to go into
didn't Dante, wasn't that a part of the Divine Comedy? Oh wait, no. Paradise Lost came afterwards, didn't it?
Yeah, 1600s.
Yeah.
Way later.
Which is still more Christian fanfiction, to be fair.
It is, but if they both say the same thing, they're getting it from somewhere.
He might have literally just been getting it from Dante, though.
I mean, you've got a point there, but it didn't feel like that.
You know, you might be right, but it just doesn't feel right. Alright, let's walk over here.
Oh my god. Saul. I forgot about Saul.
Better call Saul.
The original Saul, as a character, is about on the same level as Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, honestly. He starts out as, like, a good person, and, like, the children of Israel are like, we need a king, and God's like, I'm literally God. And they're like, no, fuck you, we need a king. He's like, fine, fuck it. Saul, you're the king now. And he's like, oh, what? Okay. And he, like, immediately fucks it up somehow, and I forgot how. And, like, and then God gets mad at him and he never recovers. And, like, it continues like that for a while, and Saul keeps fucking up and taking an L, and then God gets mad at him. And eventually, he gets in the war with the Philistines, and Goliath shows up, and then David shows up and kills Goliath, and David's the new kid on the block, and he's God's favorite. And Saul gets really mad at David, and so what he'll do is when David's playing the harp, Saul will get so angry at David that he'll start throwing things at him and trying to kill him.
I didn't ask for this. Why do you like that guy better? Fuck that guy.
Basically.
You made me do this, and now you're being a shithead to me because I'm not doing it up to your standards. I was not raised to be a king. I did not gain any formal education to do this. Do you think I understand crop rotation or anything to help my people? No.
I always felt so sorry for Saul, but he does, you know, attempt to murder a bunch of people. So, you know, pluses and minuses.
Well, you know, realistically, God should not have picked that guy to be king.
Oh shit! There were several reasons for the choice of Saul as king. Yada yada military hero, yada yada really claim to fame. Besides that, Saul possessed unusual beauty. God chose him because he was hot.
I mean, that's pretty much on par for ancient gods, so... In fact, I think the only gods who straight up don't mess with mortals because they're hot are, like, Norse gods. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I can't think of any story from Norse mythology that actually had to do with them just being like, totally wanna fuck that guy or girl.
They don't marry mortals. That's crazy. They marry Jotuns and stuff. That is wild.
There is a clear class distinction between gods and mortals in Norse mythology. They do not intermingle.
See, when you say it like that, it sounds fucked. But on the other hand, like, imagine a god coming down to you and being like, yo, you're hot, and, like, you can't turn this person down because otherwise they're gonna curse you and turn you into, like, you know, an animal.
Or do what Pan did and make the pan flutes.
Oh my god, fuck.
The girl he liked was like, no, please leave me alone. He just fucking turns her into a plant. No. She goes to her father, I think, and he turns her into a plant so Pan can't have her. And then Pan's just like, I guess I'll make an instrument out of her so I can just put my lips all over her.
That's right. She's like, Daddy, I'm getting sexually harassed by a god. He's like, well, honey, your life's basically over, but if you don't want to get raped, I can, like, you know, curse you to be a fucking tree.
I think her dad was also a god. Is this water? Oh, I've reached water level.
Yeah, but, like, the Dryad stuff, they're, like, they're canonically weaker. Like, their power level is way lower. Whatever.
Yeah. Her power level is way lower.
That's how it goes down, man. That's why I fucking love the Fates, or whatever, and whatever they're called in Norse mythology too. They're like literally the same people, which is amazing. Cause no, Naiads were the fucking water people. I'm talking about the Fates.
The Norns.
The Norns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because literally every depiction that was like, oh yeah, even the gods are scared of these three women.
I mean, Odin goes about most of his time trying to undermine their prophecies, and literally failing or causing their prophecies every single time.
They are literally the most powerful people in the combined Norse-Greek mythologies.
We decide what happens. There's no ambiguity here. It just happens.
You.
Never forget, you belong to us.
It's like the wildest part about that is that it was implied in one of the books I read that, like, the Fates could kill the gods. Like, the gods have, like, threads on the Fates thing, and, like, they're going to cut them someday.
The real question is, can death kill the Fates?
So, you know, that's a good question.
This is like, do the Fates decide one day, fuck it, I'm out, and then just have death come over and be like, yeah, you're allowed to kill us now? Or how does this work exactly? What is the power level here?
Yeah. I feel like the people who gave a shit about the Fates are not the same people who gave a shit about Thanatos or whatever, because, like, it doesn't feel very in character for him to just be like, yeah, I'm just a messenger boy who, like, goes up and, like, does the thing. Death in mythology is really weird, because, like, there's already, like, too many people involved in the whole process. There's the Fates, there's Thanatos, there's Hermes. Like, why? You don't need all three, and then the Fates are technically a single entity in this case, but, like, there's too many people involved, is all I'm saying.
Why can't it just be you die and that's it? Why do we have to go to this afterlife? Why do we have to deal with some guy coming around and being like, yeah, hey, you're dead now?
And not just that. In the ancient Greek world, the deities try to fleece you for cash. It's hilarious.
Hey, you're dead now. I know that I'm here to collect you while you're dead, but I'm immediately gonna send you off with this guy to take care of you.
Like, I don't remember if Hermes... I don't think Hermes asks you for money. But definitely Charon. He's like...
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You have to have the coin under your tongue to pay the ferryman.
Yeah. Which, like, what's he buying down there? Who else is getting money? There is no economics... Does he come up on vacation days?
Do Caphonic deities have worldly vacations?
Like, the fact that you have to pay him money implies that he is spending this money, unless he's like, hoarding it dragon style.
I'm pretty sure dragons universally were supposed to be meant to represent bad kings who hoard their wealth.
I mean, that's definitely an analogy there. But also, I think they represented big lizards.
Maybe. That's a bit less. That's a bit less solid. Can we really call it a lizard? Like, we don't know.
I just find it fascinating that, like, people looked at the Chinese dragon and was like, yep, that's a dragon. And it's like, I mean, I guess it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Like, now that it's been canonized as a dragon, and it's been a dragon for a few hundred years now, I'm like, sure, I accept it. But, like, imagine
I guess
you've never heard. Yeah, imagine you're Marco Polo, or whoever the fuck it was who decided to do that, and you go over to this new land, and you see this thing that looks like, a big long snake with, like, a mustache and a beard. And the first thing you think is, yeah, that looks like the big fire-breathing lizard that we know.
I mean, dragons are kind of not exactly set creature, mythologically speaking. They're kind of a concept more than anything else.
A lung dragon doesn't even act like the European dragon. Like, the European dragons are usually bad, they usually are malicious, and they usually, like, have an implication that they are, like, from Satan or whatever. Whereas Chinese lung dragons are usually good, are usually associated with, like, creation and stuff, and, like, bestow good deeds upon the people in the stories that they find.
I'm gonna need to get rid of this water.
They're, like, fundamentally opposite.
Right, I need a workbench, damn it. You could eat another bite. It's nice that you can eat while swimming.
Stomach system. It's such an interesting mechanic.
Come again?
The stomach system. You, like, stack a bunch of food, and that's what you have.
That's your stamina and your health. How healthy are you? Well, did you remember to eat? No. Probably not that healthy. Alright, I've spent all this time doing all this building and stuff. Let's grab some wood. Let's grab 10 wood. Oh yeah, baby. Let's grab some stone.
Yeah.
Let's grab a hammer. And let's go. Now that I've cut off like two sides of my area, it seems like I'm getting attacked way less.
Well, that makes sense.
Monsters. Alright, let's put you down right here. Excuse me. Now, let's come over here, and let's raise the ground in valid placement.
Why isn't the Bible like this?
What's up?
The story of David's birth. His dad, Jesse, it starts with him. In spite of his piety, Jesse was not always proof against temptation. One of his slaves caught his fancy, and he would have entered into illicit relations with her had his wife, Nazbar, the daughter of Adiel, not frustrated the plan. She disguised herself as the slave, and Jesse, deceived by the ruse, met his own wife. Was any of that necessary?
Just walk up and say, hey, I would prefer it if you didn't cheat on me with one of our slaves. And you know what? You could have also at that point just been like, we don't even need slaves. We'll do the work ourselves. Be ahead of your time, lady.
Just, I forget every single time that there is just like rampant slavery in the Bible, just
Yeah.
everywhere.
People were like
you
that.
think that, no, but you think like because the Moses Exodus story is like, oh, it sucks. The children of Israel are slaves, man. That's so uncool. That's lame.
It's
Why do they
okay
do
when we do it.
It's just so
We are the
funny.
chosen of God. We are allowed. All these other guys go, nah, get out of here with that. What do you mean what do you mean we gotta do this now? What? What? Why? Stop it. Don't tell me to pick your cotton. Literally the only thing I could think of. I don't know what they did. I remember there's a lot of like tubers and stuff, I think.
Oh, they built the pyramids according to the Bible.
Don't make me build your pyramids.
Yeah.
There's
debate about the historical accuracy of that because the pyramids are well documented and there's like some debate, but I haven't really gotten into it because I don't give that
It was
much of a
clearly
shit.
aliens. That's all I'm saying. Why did you punch it? Oh, right. So apparently, I don't know if you saw this conversation between me and somebody else on our Discord, but there's this one person who left global warming activism or left the group that they were in because there were too many white people there. And that was the header for the article. But reading the article itself, he told me that because I didn't find the article, he found the article. He told me that apparently it wasn't just, oh, there's white people who better leave. It's the white people who were a part of it basically were only doing it to make themselves feel better without actually contributing to helping out the people affected by it, or trying to cut the cause at its source.
I mean, that makes sense. I believe that happened.
Like,
at the same time, that's pretty bait of an article, you know?
Yeah, it's a shitty title, yeah.
Yeah.
Because most people are not going to actually read the article. They're just going to be like, oh, well, fuck it, this person's an asshole. I can pull up the article later. But, like, that's a problem right there. If you're doing something specifically because you want to feel better about yourself, or maybe just because you think it'll give you some sort of clout on the internet or with your social circles, whatever, don't do that. Just actually contribute to helping the cause, rather than just being vocal about it. Actually do something about it, because, like I mentioned on there, I don't talk about the things that I do to help out with people, or to help out with causes, rather, I should say. I just do the thing, and if I feel like talking about it might help, I might try and talk to people on a personal level, but I'm not going to go out and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing all this stuff for this group, and they're like, great, they're telling us to be vegans and whatever, because, like, realistically, being a vegan ain't going to change much. You really want to change stuff with the environment. How about you deal with the fact that there's a bunch of people polluting? How it's mostly major corporations contributing, and changing stuff in your personal life, while kind of nice, I guess, I like the sentiment, is ultimately pointless.
Yeah. And if you're buying from, like, Whole Foods or something, like, you have to watch where they're importing from, or else you might actually be doing more in ecological damage just from the imports or whatever. It gets real complicated real fast.
Look into fair trade stuff. Try and actually take understanding of the stuff that you're looking at. It's a whole huge complicated mess of things that, like, even I'm not particularly familiar with on this particular subject. But there are things that you can do to actively contribute. Besides just saying, hey, do this or do that. Like, you could lobby for legislation to be passed to say, hey, stop these guys from polluting. Whatever. I don't know enough about the whole global warming cause to really be able to contribute a decent conversation to it, but I do think that if you're just doing something for the sake of saying you're doing it, that's a problem.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So now I have to put up or shut up and look into it and then start contributing to this particular cause since I brought it up. Damn. Now I gotta look into more information.
Dang.